Welcome back, everybody. It's Big Papa Timo playing No Man's Sky. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but I get easily distracted and lose track of time. I even have a timer sitting right in front of me, and I still forget to check it. Just goes to show you that this game sucks you right in, and I can't possibly always remember what's going on. I just get so worked up, so involved. It happens. You will too. This is probably going to form your new obsession. This game just does that to you. What I want to do is I want to clean up some inventory space. So first I'm going to run through and grab these smaller stacks of things like the carbon and make that into condensed carbon. And we're basically just going to clean up some space in our exosuit. We have 16 sodium. Let's turn that into 8 sodium nitrate. As you play this game more and more, you'll find that you run into these inventory problems more and more frequently. So basically, we need to constantly be vigilant in getting rid of these things that take up so much space. We're going to do a little rusted metal into some ferrite dust. Then the ferrite dust we're going to turn into some pure ferrite, and we're probably going to refine that further down into magnetized ferrite because it takes up less room. And if we need to, we can always break down the magnetized ferrite back down to the pure ferrite, but we cannot break down the pure ferrite back down to the ferrite dust because it makes magnetized ferrite. It's a tangled web we weave. Now this is unfortunately going to take a few minutes. Um, that silly bastard is still stuck in here. Now we are trying to install a hyperdrive in our ship. And we have the technology with which to do that. Now, I want to leave as much room for inventory in the front as possible, so I'm going to put the hyperdrive in a technology slot. Some people don't like to do that, but this fighter is going to be a throwaway fighter. We're not going to keep it forever. And now what we need to do is, I neglected to show you that our hyperdrive is out of fuel, and that requires a warp cell. So we need to learn how to make a warp cell, and that's probably going to trigger... Oh, no, we already have that plan, but we need antimatter housing and antimatter. So that's probably going to trigger a new quest line. Craft warp fuel, find antimatter. Alright, let's go ahead and grab this while it's finishing up. And we're going to go ahead and add more, because I know there's some more ferrite dust in here. And got to remember to go over here and let's blank that out to the bottom, crank it up to the top, grab it all. We're going to step outside for a moment, and we're going to go on to find us, hear us. Awakenings, all systems functional. Seek answers among the stars. I think we have to take off. And since we're pretty much locked up on hiring a base scientist until we can get out of the system, staff available for hire in space stations, we are now pretty much locked up. And we need to learn how to create microprocessors, but we actually bought those. Science terminal, we need to go off planet. I don't think Attendant Ralph Footer has anything for us. Now then, I think, friend, that we should put that science terminal to use. Fill out our homo clicks and Corvex. Yeah, he's basically just telling us the same thing. Get your butt in the starship and go hire me a scientist. That's what he wants. We have run out of fuel. Let's go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll go ahead and click this. Now, I would love to sit here and turn this into magnetized ferrite, but I'm a relatively impatient person, and I want to get off this planet and go get our scientist. So we're going to let this finish out the pure ferrite. We're going to stick it in our inventory, jump in our starship, and blast off. We can always turn this into magnetized ferrite later. All systems functional. Blast off. Oh, look at that. Our launch thrusters are at 0. That is definitely something to remember, because I don't believe I have what it takes to make some more. We're going to go ahead and do a scan. Message amplified. Location locked. Anomalous broadcast on that planet. That is the broadcast station. We're going to head that way. That's going to take us a minute, so in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and switch over here. Insufficient full on the pulse thruster. Pulse engine. We don't have any pyrite or tritium. Now remember how I told you that there are always asteroid fields nearby? So I just needed to zip on up here a little bit and find one. Get some more tritium. Now, one of the cool things about these is you get a decent amount. Now, that warning was because it tried to give us gold, and we don't have room for gold. We do have room for tritium and silver. I'm not that worried about the gold. But as I was saying, it tends to give you a decent amount of tritium per asteroid. See, look at that, just jacking up. We got 165 now. We can go ahead and recharge. We can do the pulse engine with tritium, and I just noticed we have uranium. That'll cover the launch fuel. Told you there was a reason I put it by uranium. Just always nice. What I was actually doing, though, is I was going into this and seeing if we had what it takes to make launch fuel, and we have dihydrogen. We just need to make some metal plating, and I believe we can. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave a launch fuel in there as well. Kind of unnecessary with the uranium, but better to be safe than sorry. We're still about 30 seconds out from the anomalous broadcast location. Kind of a long distance between the planets. Sometimes you get that. I don't think we've been to this planet yet, though. I'm going to drop out a pulse real quick. Oh, that's Cara Beta. That is Beta. That is our original planet. That's where we started. How soon we forget. Lovely ring planet. Coming in hot. Gotta do a barrel roll. Well, that looks like an abandoned structure. I don't see a landing pad for us. It kind of sucks. So good thing we had, wrong button, started to do a strafing run when I just meant to land. It was a good thing that we had that extra uranium though, and the launch fuel, so that we can actually take off from this planet. Otherwise we'd have to be doing some farming. Don't have that Atlas pass yet, so we can't open those. Ooh, looks like this place has been beaten up. Look at that. We've got, you guessed it, whispering eggs. I'm not going to mess around with them. If you guys decide that you'd like to make the cash of selling the larval cores, feel free. What I would suggest you do is actually use the mining laser and go ahead and open up the egg, grab the larval core real quick, and then you want to jetpack up onto the building so that the monstrosities can't get you. Terminal is online, selecting key, decrypting, success. Terminal is clogged with an unnerving, pulsating slime. Nevertheless, it appears to function. As I touch the input panel, the alien substance reacts violently. I make a note to avoid getting closer. The device opens, revealing a single unblinking crimson eye. It deposits a sample of antimatter accompanied by a strange message. Let's go ahead and read the log. It takes the antimatter. You will find us when the time is right. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. Kind of repeating theme we've got here. We have learned the antimatter housing, which is 30 oxygen and 50 ferrite dust. And we have one antimatter. So let's go ahead and we're going to go in here and we need to craft one of those. And then we need to make our warp cell. Then we need to go back to the starship. And since I put it in the technology, it's going to be a little bit difficult. We need to fuel that up with warp cell. So now we can actually make a jump with a hyperdrive. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and check this out. Let's check our units. 549. We have the chromatic metal, so we're going to actually fix this. 549 units, and didn't give us anything for the damaged machinery. I'm a little confused. Not the first time, it won't be the last. I think you guys are figuring out that I have squirrel brain every once in a while. So confusing me is not that difficult to do. Don't see anything else to interact with. You know what, I always forget to do this. And since we're doing a beginner's guide, I really should be a little bit better about it. Let's turn on our flashlight and have a look around. Such a useful tool. And they really did some amazing work with the textures and everything on this, so take the opportunity to look around. See, I didn't even notice that these were over here because it was in the dark. I'm going to search that, get some extra oxygen. I always like to just tell myself that I don't turn the light on because it attracts predators. It doesn't. It's just a superstition on my part. So, I'm not going to mess around with those. Just not my thing. We're going to blast back off into space. And let's see what we got going on there. Warp to another system in space, access the galaxy map. Got to make sure you're far enough away from a planet to do that. But unfortunately, we don't have the time in this episode. We're going to cut it right here. And when we come back, we're going to go ahead and work to the next system and find ourselves a Corvaxian scientist to go ahead and take over our science terminal. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to hit that thumbs up down below and give me a like. And if you'd like to see some updates in the future, please hit the subscribe button and get notifications when I post new videos. Until I see you next time, fly safe.